Season's kicking off. We got to get our picks for the division. So let's cover the AFC East to get us started.
Everybody thinks the Bills are going to win it. I got the Dolphins taking it. I got Tua staying healthy. I got them splitting with Buffalo during the season. But I got the Dolphins having a big year. They got the division. Bills are coming second. The Jets are going to be a hard time. And Patriots are going to be dead. The Patriots is a bad year for the Patriots right now. The Jets are going to come in third, but they're going to get busy. They're going to upset Buffalo as well. They might even upset Miami again. But Miami's taking that division. That's what I got. I got Tyreek Hill, Waddle, Tua staying healthy. It's too many weapons, and they can play defense too.
I don't know that I can believe enough in Tua to stay healthy. I like Tua. I've always been rooting for him, but year in and year out, one of my boys is always like, no, he's going to go down. He's going to get injured. Sure enough, it happens. I think he's going to stay relatively healthy, but I think he's going to move. Are you doing the Tua fingers over there?
Cool fingers.
But I think he's going to miss some games, strained hamstring type of stuff. So I still think Buffalo's done it. They've done it recently. I think Josh Allen's going to be on a mission. And even though I think their championship window has passed, I think they needed to get it done 2 years ago probably. I still think they've got the best shot to win the division because they've done it. Miami, I think, is definitely going to challenge. I'm with you. I think the Jets are going to make a quantum leap, but I don't know if they're going to gel enough, quick enough to win the division.
Cut the wishful thinking aside. I do think Miami's going to upset and take that division, but Josh Allen is going to he's going to take another step up. He might be the league MVP this year. I don't know if you've been watching the news. He's smashing something new. He's been like on the beach and in vacation. And this happened 2 years ago with Christian McCaffrey. I did a video about this too. He did his rookie season. In the off season, he put on like 30 pounds of muscle and he took, I think that was Julian Edelman's girl, right? Didn't he take Edelman's girl or Amendola's girl? He took one of their girls. Dude was on the Instagram looking at her Instagram. He liked something of hers and then she liked Christian McCaffrey shit. She was already with Amendola or Edelman, one or the other. The next post you saw from her, she was on the beach with McCaffrey. So he put on 30 pounds of muscle. He took a dude's bitch. And he was ready to go crazy, and he did.
The biggest concern I have with the Bills, the biggest question mark is what happens with Diggs. Does that start to cause an issue, or does he put that aside as soon as the season starts? I think that's the one thing that could upend them a little bit, and they just don't have the receivers beyond him. With Miami, the question mark is really Tua's health because they got the weapons. At wide receiver, stacked. Running back, Mostert. I mean, that team's got more speed than any team I can think of in recent history. And on defense, they're stacked. The Jets, the question to me, I think everybody's question obviously is like, does Aaron Rodgers come back? Was it his thumb or whatever bothering him? Or was that kind of him just having an off season? Or is that the beginning of the end, right? Which people always kept saying every time Brady had a bad game. I think the interesting question in New York is like, Garrett Wilson's got a lot on him. He's going to have to prove that he can be wide receiver number one. I think that's going to be a big question there. And then also just getting on the same page. Like, does it take them 4 or 5 games to get gelled and get on the same page, get the playbook, get Dalvin Cook in there late, get everybody working together, new team on offense? On defense, Lawson, CJ Mosley, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, they've got superstars at every level. And at that second level, they got inside and outside covered. The problem is that guys are coming off injuries. We don't know if they're going to be the same as they were, but they've got great potential on defense. I mean, this division is stacked, and I'm with you. The Patriots just can't keep up.
Yeah, they're not going to get it done with Mac Jones or whoever Belichick puts in there. They need Tom Brady back, bro. They got to call him back, give him another run.
They might determine who wins the division because they're going to game plan and take somebody out because it's going to be a 3-team race. But New England could take someone out if they can upset one of those teams.
The Jets. They're going to beat the Jets.
Very possibly.
The Patriots are going to beat the Jets, and the Jets are going to beat the Dolphins, and the Dolphins are going to beat the Bills. That's what's going to happen.
I think the shame of it would be if they beat each other up enough that only 2 of those teams make the playoffs. 3 teams from this division could very well make the playoffs, and I'd like to see 3 make it. The question is, do they just beat each other up and some fucking terrible team from the AFC South takes a spot from him,
It very well could be, because I think that whole division is just going to upset each other the whole year. I got Miami taking the division. I got Buffalo, Jets, Patriots. That's how I got it.
I'm going to go Buffalo, Miami, Jets, New England.
That's fair. The only difference between me and you is I'm believing in Tua.
I think Buffalo and Miami both make the playoffs. The question is going to be, do the Jets? All right, so let's take it over to the NFC East.
Oh, man, you already know what it is in that NFC East, bro. Cowboys, they're going to make some noise, and then they're going to stutter. The Eagles are the Bugatti of the NFC East right now. The Eagles got a team. They could have very well won the Super Bowl. R&B singer Jalen Hurts is going to lead the way. So the Eagles are going to come up. This might be the year the Giants could even pass the Cowboys, bro. I think they can.
Oh, spoken like a true New Yorker.
No, I'm not a Giant fan. I just think the Cowboys are going to get dominated by the Eagles. I think the Cowboys are going to lose one to the Washington Commanders with my man Howell. Howell's a shooter. I think he gets them later in the season and he surprises them. The Cowboys, to me, they're very fragile. They're a fragile team. I see the Cowboys coming in third or fourth in that division. I would say Eagles. I'm going to go Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders.
I think this is a two-team race year after year. Like, I believe Daniel Jones is good, but I just don't know that the Giants have enough talent on that roster to compete with those other two. I just haven't seen Daniel Jones do it yet. I worry about him fumbling, and even if he's fixed that, I still just don't know if he's ready to make that leap, the leap that he got paid to make. I think it's Dallas and Philly. It's hard to pick against Philly in this division, but we know the Cowboys always implode. Something always happens. But in this offseason, they've gotten some good veteran leadership. You know, Brandon Cooks has come in, and it seems like that wide receiver quarterback core has been building a good chemistry. I think Dak is an issue late in the season, but I think he's underrated overall. The guy can put numbers on the board. I want to see a full season from your boy Pollard. I don't know if he's going to, be able to sustain that for a whole season. And their defense is the difference maker to me. Their defense has come so far in the last 3 years. I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a tight race between Dallas and Philly. I got Eagles, Cowboys. I think it's neck and neck. And then I got the Giants. And then Washington, your guy Howell is a total question mark, but I just think there's too much going on in that team right now. And then with Eric Bieniemy coming in, putting in a new offense, there's already people whining about it. I just don't know if that's going to work out. And I think this is going to be a slugfest, though.
I don't know, bro. I think you got the Eagles and the Cowboys a little too close. I think the Eagles took that level. I think they're a level or two above the Cowboys. I don't think it's that close this year. Jalen Hurts don't make mistakes, man.
It's going to be those Philly might be a 15-2 and Dallas is a 13-4 type of thing. But I don't think it's going to be the last week. Maybe not 13, 12-5. But I think it's going to be close for a while.
That's the good thing about football and all the division games. You're going to see upsets. My man Howell's going to grab something paused from the Eagles, the Cowboys. I think he gets one from one of those teams.
It's possible that Washington only wins one division game, and that's against the Giants, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. He's the new Montana. Howell's the new Joe Montana, bro. You'll see.
Whoa, slow down. Slow down.
Joe Burrow, Joe Montana, Sam Howell. Sam Howell's my sleeper.
You taking him in fantasy?
In my 2-quarterback league, if he's around, I'm gonna take him. I'm not even sure his name's Sam, but I'm gonna take him. His first name's Sam. Is that
For Philly, the thing is, I don't think there are any question marks, assuming no one gets hurt. That's what I think makes Philly so good is most teams you can go through and there's one thing that could throw it off. Even a Buffalo, that Diggs situation. Yeah. Philly, I don't have a question mark. The Giants, I think Daniel Jones is the question mark. Does he level up this year? I think with Dallas, the question mark is Dak at the end of the season, Dak getting injured mid-season, that's usually a problem. And the other thing is Micah Parsons is a beast, but it's going to be hard to replicate that season he had. That's some Lawrence Taylor shit. Is Diggs going to get 34 interceptions in a year again? That's another one.
I don't know if they're going to be able to replicate it. I mean, they're going to have a strong defense, but the problem to me is like you said, I think Dak Dak is going to be the problem. Dak is going to have to, even though they got a good defense, for some reason, people still put up points on them. So Dak has to sustain that.
They get in too many shootouts.
Yeah, with
They
a
do.
good defense, but that's ironic. You have such a good defense, but you're in shootouts. Can Dak keep that up? There ain't no shootout that Howell or Daniel Jones is keeping up with either one of those teams. You know?
Right.
That's a messy win.
Let's take it over to the AFC West.
We were excited about last year seeing what the Broncos could do, and oof, that was terrible. I mean, they brought in new coaching. Let's see what happens. The Chiefs obviously is the class of that division. The Chiefs will be back on top. The Chargers are going to challenge, but the Chargers, they ain't up to the Chiefs yet. So I got Chiefs, Chargers, and then Broncos, Raiders is like, they're kind of close now. Unless Russell's totally toast, which reports are coming in that he doesn't look good at all. They're saying he fell off a cliff. If that's the case, Broncos will be in last place. If he does a halfway decent season, they could overtake the Raiders. But I got Chiefs, Chargers. Are the Chargers and the Chiefs close? I would say by maybe 2 games. The Chiefs get them by 2 games. I do Broncos, Raiders.
So, Cuz, I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
AFC West, what order do you think these teams finish in this year?
Raiders, and Raiders. Fuck Mahomes, fuck Herbert, and fuck Sierra's husband.
I love the Chargers. I would love to see them upend the Chiefs. Those teams have some classic games, but I don't see it happening. I think the Chiefs have done it before. They got too much experience, too much confidence coming off last year. I think Kansas City wins that division. The Chargers, my question with the Chargers, I love them. I think they've done the right things to make the team better. I think they overachieved a couple years ago. I love Justin Herbert, and I think he is going to be able to keep up the pace. It's a hard pace to keep up, but I think he's going to be right there. I think he's going to keep them in every game. The good thing, I think, is they're a balanced team with Austin Eckler. They've got balance. They've got more than one receiver. It's not like you can zero in. It's just the Chargers. The term is chargering. Can they, they're choking. I think this year they're gonna be able to get into the playoffs. I believe in that. I think they'll be up there with KC, but KC will pull away. I'm with you. Denver and Vegas, that's going to be a tight race because we'll see what happens with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to run an efficient offense. I don't think he's going to try to do too much. I don't think he's an upgrade from Derek Carr. I actually think Derek Carr is very good, and he's super efficient. So I think they get worse there. He lost a great tight end. Josh Jacobs is a beast. I just don't know that they have the weapons with Jimmy G at the helm to get it done. They got some players on defense. You got a Marcus Peters, right? You got a Max Crosby. You got guys that they're a little volatile. They fit that Raiders system. They're going to make teams work for it. But going up against Denver, it comes down to Russell Wilson. If he's done, they're fucked.
I think so. I'm rooting for Russell Wilson. I like him as a player, but he might have fell off that cliff. But Jimmy G, he ain't doing much, bro. That's what's making me think the Broncos, they're going to beat the Raiders in that division.
I think what you're going to see is like the first half of the season, Raiders 3-5, Denver 4-4, Chargers 5-3, KC like 6-2, 7-1. And then the second half of the season, I think the Chargers and KC are going to pull away. I think Denver will be better than they were last year.
And then you got to look at their bitches. You got Russell, he got Sierra. She's premium. She's upgraded. She's successful. I think Jimmy G wasn't he linked to Mia Khalifa?
Yes.
He was.
Right.
You got Sierra and you got Mia Khalifa. The levels ain't there. That's why I got Russell taking out Jimmy G. Jimmy G, he ain't doing it right.
I think 2 teams make the playoffs from this division. I think Kansas City and the Chargers get in. Then to wrap it up, NFC West.
Garbage. Top to bottom. Trash. I don't even want to do this division, bro. The only thing you got to believe in is Pete Carroll and Geno Smith. Geno did phenomenal last year. Geno blew everybody's mind in real life and in fantasy. Purdy's a player. The Niners got a team. So I'm going to go with Niners, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals. I don't even got the Cardinals doing anything. the Cardinals win 4 games.
I can't believe in Brock Purdy yet. Like, I didn't jump on that Brock Purdy train. I think it's going to take more time. It didn't used to be like this, but I think over the last 10 years, quarterbacks that come in the first year tend to have really good seasons. No one's game plan for them. They start doing stuff that the defense isn't prepared for. Football is so much about preparation. And if you're preparing and spending all your time preparing for that one quarterback, that's why you see all these rookie quarterbacks come in and play great their first year. And then year 2, year 3, people have figured them out. Brock Purdy makes his little run, and then they figure out how to play him. I think the thing that San Francisco has going for them, they got some weapons.
What's that?
Rocket launcher.
And they got a good coach, especially on the offensive end. And then they've got a very strong defense. That's probably why I give them the advantage in that division. I don't know that you're going to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy, but you can win this division for sure. Seattle and the Rams, I think it's going to be kind of neck and neck with Pete Carroll coaching and that team, that culture up there that they have in Seattle. They're going to be somewhere between 10-7 and 7-10. Outskirts of the playoffs, but fighting for a spot in, win the games they're supposed to win, and they're going to compete in some games that they're probably not supposed to. Arizona, I just think is fucked. I mean, they've lost everybody good on that team. Kyler Murray, I think, is just a wreck. And the Rams, I think they were happy with what they got, and now they're figuring out they might be a team that just unloads players during the season and start stacking up draft picks and everything else for the future because they know Stafford's kind of over the hill. But you look at the rest of that team, they still got Cooper Kupp on defense. They still got Aaron Donald. You know, they've lost a lot elsewhere, but are they still neck and neck with Seattle? I think so. I think only San Francisco gets into the playoffs, though. I've got San Francisco. I could see it going LA, Seattle, or Seattle, LA, or them basically having the same record and then Arizona far behind.
I know I got the Seahawks over LA because they're well coached and Geno keeps his mistakes to a minimal. So when you're well coached and your quarterbacks makes minimal mistakes, you'll get some wins. The Rams to me are just they're like a loose cannon. Like when shit goes wrong, it all goes wrong for them. Like they're out of the game. The game's over. Yeah, the Cardinals, I think I could put a team together from guys that I know and we could compete against the Cardinals.
You know, the other thing I'll say with Seattle, the fans are going to be there rooting hard every game behind them. The Rams fans don't give a fuck. Yeah. The Rams fans just want to show up at the Super Bowl.
That division is trash. But Purdy, you're not giving him enough props. They don't see a lot of footage of him. He had success early. He had a lot of intangibles. He had a lot of creating on his own. His Wonderlic score got to be high. He did a lot of thinking on his toes.
I look at him, right, and he's 6'1". He's a 7th round pick. Iowa State, not known for like tons of great quarterbacks. It's just hard for me to, and he hasn't done it for that long. What was it, 9 games he played? Yeah. There's enough footage of him now that this season I think they're going to be ready for him. But he's got Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, George Kittle. He's got 3 guys that he could make a 4-yard pass to on a little wide receiver screen, bubble screen, halfback screen, and they would take it for 82 yards.
And they gave him the team, bro. Last year, he just came out of nowhere and they thrusted him in. Now the whole preseason is to give Brock the team. The coaching is good, bro. 3-yard, 4-yard pass. Get it out your hand. Let Deebo go.
They're going to throw more screens on that team than we've seen in the history of the league. That's going to be 80% of the game plan, but it's going to work. He doesn't have to worry about that whole Trey Lance thing. For a while, it was like everybody was enamored by like what Trey Lance could be. But I think everybody's moved on from that. This is Purdy's team now. Like you said, they gave him the team.
So you got that team, and then you're plugging in Purdy, who's good. And then once they make the offense, we've seen teams do 3-yard, 4-yard, get the ball out your hands quick. We've seen that work all the way to the Super Bowl.
There's different ways to get to the Super Bowl. And that team has enough weapons on offense, enough on defense, that you're not dependent on the quarterback. If they get to the playoffs, he'll have to make a couple big throws. And that's what differentiates a guy who can be a game manager and get there versus the guy that like in the clutch is going to make that right throw. He's going to drop it in between two defenders on 3rd and 12 in a divisional playoff game.
The only thing standing in their way to the Super Bowl could be the Eagles.
If there's a year to be able to do what the Niners, what their game plan is going to be, this is the year. And I think all they need to do is get to the playoffs.
Well, we're going to see, bro.